great today. I'm so glad that you guys are in class. Before we get started, can anybody remind me what we worked on last time? Anybody? Yes. Yes, that is correct. We were taking notes about the muscular system. We are going to be doing that today as well. We're going to dive in a little bit deeper to something else. We're going to be talking about the muscles, where they're at on the body, and then just some general properties about when you're doing different types of exercise, what muscle you're using when you do that. So first thing though, I have this video for us. So we're going to watch this video and then we'll move on, okay?
What are the major muscle groups in the body?
All right, perfect. So now with us having a little background information about where the different muscles are, go ahead and open your Chromebook. Within Google Classroom, there is going to be a pre-assessment. It's going to say pre-assessment on there. And go ahead and take about 3 to 5 minutes. Take that pre-assessment and then we will move on to our next activity. So again, you're going to open your Chromebook, go to Google Classroom. You are going to find the pre-assessment and go ahead and take that pre-assessment. I'm going to set a timer for about 5 minutes and then we'll evaluate at the end if we still need extra time. Sounds good? Thumbs up? Perfect. Let's get started. Does anybody need any more time on their pre-assessment? Nope, we're all finished? Awesome. So real quick, let me turn that off. So real quick, go ahead and just turn to a nearby neighbor. You don't need to get up, just like I said, turn to a nearby neighbor and talk about the questions that you just wrote down for your pre-assessment. Talk about them, see if you found any similarities or differences. Kind of just talk about your thought processes about these answers. Most of these are from our previous notes that we did take last class. So like I said, go ahead and take a few minutes, talk about those, and then we'll move on after. All right, if you can hear my voice, clap once. If you can hear my voice, clap twice. If you can hear my voice, clap 3 times. All right, perfect. Now that I have your attention, let's go over the different pre-assessment questions together as a group. We're going to talk about them, see what you guys got, also just taking the information that I know, and then we're going to put those two together. So first thing, we have what are the different kinds of muscle tissues, and if they are voluntary or involuntary. So can anybody name the 3 different types of muscle tissues for me? Yes. Yes, that is correct. We have cardiac, skeletal, and then also smooth muscles. So which one is voluntary? Actually, let's back up. What does voluntary mean? Voluntary, yes, it does mean that we can control it, that we are controlling and we are telling it to do something. And then involuntary means, yes, that you do not have control. That is correct. We do not have control. That is involuntary. Voluntary control, involuntary means that you do not have control. So again, which one is voluntary? Yes? Yes, our skeletal muscles. Those are the ones that are voluntary because we are telling our body to move those muscles. And then the other 2 that are not voluntary, they are involuntary. Those are, yes, our cardiac and smooth. Because do we have to tell our heart to beat? No, we don't have to tell our heart to beat. And then we also don't have to tell our esophagus or things like that to do their job as well. So we've just answered our first question. Does anybody have any questions about the first question? We just did the 3 types of muscle tissues and if they were voluntary or involuntary. Thumbs up. Perfect. So next is what attaches muscle to bone? Can anybody tell me the answer to that? Yes. It is tendon. Great job. So yes, tendon attaches muscle to bone. Great job. Awesome. Thumbs up. Questions about that? All right, our third question is, when your arm is flexed or bent, what muscle contracts and which muscle relaxes? So arms bent, which muscle contracts and which muscle relaxes? What did we find out? Yes. Yes, your bicep is the one that contracts and your tricep is the one that relaxes. Now what if my arm was straight? Which muscle would contract it and which muscle would relax then? Yes. Yes, you are correct. The bicep would be the one that was relaxing, and the tricep is now the one that's contracting. Awesome job. All right, now we answered the top three. Let's move on to the fourth one. This was our bonus question. So the skeletal muscle works by what? I put in there parentheses getting shorter to kind of give you a hint. Yes, ma'am. Yes, it works by contracting. The muscle contracts, and that is what it means when it's getting shorter. The skeletal muscles work by contracting. All right, awesome. Great job, guys. Do I have any final questions about the pre-assessment? We just answered all 4 questions. Is there any other comments or confusions? Maybe somebody got a different answer? Okay, perfect. That's awesome. So the next thing, we're going to move on. All right, guys, so we're going to move on to our standards and objectives for the day. So I have pulled some standards for us that we'll kind of work on, that go deeper into what we are working on today. And then I've also created our objectives. First thing comes from our state standards, Missouri Department of Elementary and Second Education. This is for grades 6 through 8, and then this is the structure and function of the body. So it says to classify the 3 different types of muscle tissue, smooth, cardiac, skeletal, and differentiate between voluntary and involuntary muscle movement. So we've kind of already actually done that. We worked on that a little bit last class. We also addressed that in our pre-assessment. Now we're just going to dive a little bit deeper into the muscular system and knowing about where the different muscles are located on our body. And then our next one comes from the Missouri Department of Elementary and Second Education as well. This one is from the communication arts though. So it is to use active listening behaviors, ask questions of the speaker using body language and facial expressions to indicate agreement, disagreement, and or confusion. This one's a big one as well. So this one could really be applied to your everyday life because you always have to have good communication skills, because for some reason if your non-verbals come off differently than how you regularly talking, then that could be miscommunicated as you meaning something different. So it's good to be able to ask questions of somebody and use your body language to indicate whether you agree with something or disagree, and try to make sure there is no confusion in between. So then we have our 3 objectives for the day. So the first one is given unfamiliar material. The student will compare the different muscles and their general function with 80% accuracy, and that is on a depth of knowledge 2. So that just means, oh my God, this fly. Sorry. Then we have our second one, which is given pictures or words, the student will distinguish the different muscle locations of the muscular system diagram with 80% accuracy. That's something we'll dive in a little bit later on in class. And then our last one, so let me back up. These 2 will go with our very first standard. This last one, this objective is going to go with our last standard. So across environments, the student will share effective communication strategies with no more than 2 errors. So all that means is that if you have a question, please ask. If you disagree with something or something that I'm saying, or a student is saying that about the muscular system, then please say something. Let us know that you don't agree, or also let us know that you do agree. So when I ask you for a thumbs up, I would appreciate the thumbs up so that I know that you guys agree, or thumbs down if you disagree. Awesome. Do I have any questions about our standards and objectives for the day? We will revisit this at the end again to make sure that we've hit these points. Any questions? No? Perfect. Let's move on. So next is, this is just kind of our outline for the day. So these are the things that we're going to be working on. In the middle here, you see that we have our pre and post assessment. We've already done our pre, so we're already finished there. Then we're going to move on to our standards and objectives, which we just did. We just worked through our standards and objectives. Our third piece is intro to the different muscles. It's just an introduction to the different muscles. We're going to go over where they're at on the body. I'm going to go over the general function of each of the muscles and maybe some ways on how to strengthen them. And then right down here we have our cooperative learning activity where you guys are going to be able to work together today. And then also our one right over here is independent practice with the different muscles, and then also some homework. Yes, you will have some homework today, but it is only going to benefit you in the long run, I promise. And then last thing, well, second to last thing, we'll move back to our standards and objectives. This will make sure that we've addressed everything and that we are all set in stone and knowing the information for the day. And then lastly, we will end with our post-assessment. Does anybody have any questions about the flow of the day that we will have today? No? Thumbs up? Awesome. Awesome. Let's move on. So I'm going to go ahead and pass out our worksheet for the day. So our worksheet is going to look just like the one up here. Go ahead and pass those back for me. Thank you. So this is our worksheet. We're going to first I'm going to go over each one of these. There are 11 that we are going to go over today. And then first I'm going to have you try to guess. I'm going to have you try to point it out on your body. And then lastly, I'm going to go over where it is and then just kind of a little general function for it. So first thing, our external oblique. Can anybody tell me, take a guess on where their external oblique is? Yes, it is right here. Our external oblique is right here. It's a muscle underneath. It's right here. And then also our external oblique, its major job is to pull the chest downward and compress the abdominal cavity. So this really helps you bend side to side and then also do a lot of twisting motions. And so on here in the label, the abdominal or the external oblique is going to be right here. You'll be able to see it on the front side and not probably more of the back side. That's going to be a different muscle. So our second one is pectoralis major. Could anybody tell me possibly where they would guess on where their pectoralis major is? Anybody have a guess? Yes. Yes, it is right here. A lot of the times they're called our pecs. Our pecs sit right up here, so that's our pectoralis major. And also, it's primarily used for the movement of the shoulder joint, and it's common exercise or different kinds of flies and different types of dips. So our pectoralis major up here, it's kind of hard to see and it's a little bit better on your paper, but it's this line that stretches across here. So our next one is our deltoid. Can anybody tell me where our deltoid is? Yes, I see all of you guys right up here. Yes, our deltoids are right up on top. The deltoids help kind of rotate the upper arm and they extend the arm at the shoulder. A common exercise is shoulder raises or with dumbbells or resistance bands. So deltoids up here, external oblique right here, and then lastly pectoralis major right up top. All right, let's move on. So we have our quadriceps. Our quadriceps are where? Yes, we're all hitting your quadriceps right here. Not in the back, that's a different one. In the front, quadriceps are in the front. Our quadriceps help extend and bend our leg. And they're also used when running, cycling, not swimming in a sense when you kick, squatting and different types of aerobics. So quadriceps here, let's start from the beginning. External oblique, pectoralis major, deltoid, quadriceps. So then we have our latimus dorsi. Let me back up. Quadriceps, it's this three one. There's three muscles here. Sorry. Latimus dorsi mostly helps with shoulder movements, such as doing pull-ups or when you're swimming. Where's our latimus dorsi? It's in the back here. On here, it's going to be right here. That is where our latimus dorsi is. So next we have our triceps. Who can tell me where our triceps are? Yes, in the back here, our triceps are in the back. Triceps work to bend the elbow toward the body. And then it also works with the latimus dorsi. That's where? Right back here. Yes, you're correct. And it is for, actually a really good way to improve your tricep is doing a push-up and having your hands extremely close together. That will improve your tricep. So then on our diagram, our tricep is going to be on this back photo and it's going to be right here. Okay? So while you guys are writing, I'm just going to quickly review some of the ones that we went over. So external oblique, deltoid, pectoralis major, quadricep, latimus dorsi. And then we'll move on to our next one, which is our trapezius. Can anybody guess? This one's a little bit harder. Can anybody guess where our trapezius is? Yes, it is. Our trapezius is right here, up here kind of by where our neck is, kind of like back here, also where the top of our shoulders meet. The trapezius is one of the major muscles in the back and helps rotate the scapula, which is our shoulder blade, which is right back here. So that's how you can remember that it's right up top here. And then the shoulder blade squeezes can help really tighten and kind of improve your trapezius. So again, where's our trapezius? Right up here. Yes, awesome. And then on this diagram is going to be right here. All right, moving on to our next one. It's our gluteus maximus. All right, let's not have everybody show me their gluteus maximus, but while we're sitting, we can put our hands on our hips and we know that it's right back in the back. It is our butts, but it is important for the extension and the outward rotation of the hip joint. It is good to have strong glute muscles because that also can help you having strong hip muscles. And this can be improved by lunges or step-ups. So if you had a box and you were constantly stepping up and coming down, that would improve your gluteus maximus. And we clearly probably all know on the diagram where the gluteus maximus is, but it is right here. So next we'll move on to our hamstring. Our hamstring is where? Not here, because what's this? Quadriceps, yes, thank you. It is in the back. The hamstrings are in the back, and our hamstrings plays an active role in just walking, running, jumping. It also helps you to bend your knee. Some ways to improve that, another like squats, lunges, different types of leg movements, those types of things are gonna strengthen your quadriceps and hamstrings. So our hamstrings will be on this back diagram. They'll be located right here. Last two, okay? So we have our gastrocnemius. Can anybody guess what their gastrocnemius is? Yes, ma'am. Yes, it is right down here in the back of the leg. So our gastrocnemius works with the soleus to run the entire length of the lower leg. And some exercises to strengthen it could include things like calf raises. And it is right here. So last thing, we're gonna go over our bicep. Can anybody show me where our biceps are? Yes, bicep. We've got two of them, just like we got two triceps. And two quadriceps, two hamstrings. Two biceps, when contracted, works to pull up the forearm and rotate the forearm outwards. And then also a simple exercise is just a barbell curl. Perfect. So now that we have gone through the 11 different types of muscles, so in just a few seconds, we're gonna split up into a pair of two. So within that pair, we're gonna move to the back of the classroom, and there, as you guys already see, there's two long posters and an outline of a drawing of an outline of a body. You're gonna take one of the pieces of paper that I give you of these muscles, and you are gonna place it on the body where you think it belongs. So again, in a second, I will split you up into pairs of two. We will move to the back of the classroom, and you see that there's those two outlines, the drawing of the body. I'm going to hand you a muscle. You will talk with your partner, figure out where it is on the body, and then whenever you are ready, I'll come over and I'll dismiss you to get up and put the muscle on the outline. All right, so now that I've split you up into groups, go ahead to the back of the classroom. I'm gonna pass out your muscles, and then we're gonna put them on the diagram. Great job, guys, on matching the different muscles back on that wall. You guys all did really great. There was only a few that we got wrong, but we really worked together to making sure that we put all those muscles in the correct position and just the correct location. So, go ahead and open your Chromebook again, and then on Google Classroom, there is going to be a game that you guys will be able to play. It is going to be a game where you're just matching the different muscles onto the body. That's going to give you a little bit more information and also just more practice identifying the muscles. There is also going to be some extra articles and videos on Google Classroom. If you want to spend time reading those, if you want to get more information, or if you want to have more practice, please feel free to read into those articles, read into or watch the videos. Just like I said, for more information, those are on there for you guys as well. We also are going to have homework tonight. I'm going to go ahead and pass out our homework assignments. Once you go ahead and play the game once, if you feel like that's enough, then you don't need to play it again. But if you'd like to play it for the rest of the class period, you can. But once you are finished playing the game, please close your Chromebook and you can work on your homework, or like I said, you can start reading those articles or watching the videos. You can do what you would like. You can play the game, start on homework, or watch the videos and the articles as well, okay? Go ahead and pass that back for me. So like I said, for the rest of the class period, I'm going to give you guys the time to work, and then if you have any questions, please let me know. All right, guys, can I have your attention up front real quick? We've just got about 10 minutes left, a little less. I'm going to go back over our standards and objectives, and then we're going to do our post-assessment really fast. grades 6 through 8. This is in our health classroom. It is to classify 3 different types of muscle tissue: smooth, cardiac, and skeletal, and then differentiate between voluntary or involuntary muscle movements. Like I said, we did this last time, but if we were also just talking about the different muscles located around the body, I feel like that we have met that standard, and we are able to move on to our next one, which is also from the Missouri Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, and this was from Communication Arts. This was to use active listening behaviors such as asking questions of the speaker, using body language and facial expressions that indicate agreement, disagreement, or confusion. Does everyone feel like they have met the first and second standard today? Raise of hands, thumbs up. Awesome, all thumbs up. That's awesome. Good job, guys. And then lastly, we have our 3 objectives. So first, given unfamiliar material, the student will compile the different muscles and their general functions with 80% accuracy. Now, I feel like that we have all met this today because we went over it, like I went over it through the notes, and then you guys had times to match the different muscles in the back. And then third, you guys got to work on that online activity, also being able to review those articles and those different videos as well. Does everyone feel like they've met their first objective? Thumbs up? Awesome, all thumbs up again. We're having a great day today. Next, we have given pictures or words. The student will differentiate a different muscle location, the different muscle locations of the muscular system diagram with 80% accuracy. Does everyone feel like they have met their second objective for the day? Give me a thumbs up if you have. Give me a thumbs up if you have not. Thumbs up again? Wow. Good job, guys. So, last one. Across environments, the student will share effective communication strategies with no more than 2 errors. Now, I can tell you for myself that all of you have individually met this standard or this objective for the day. I was the one evaluating you with this one, and all of you have successfully done that. Give yourself a round of applause. So last thing, go ahead and take out a piece of paper for me. We're going to do our post-assessment really quick before the bell rings in just a few minutes. So on your post-assessment, I want you to write your name really big at the top, not too big. First thing, I want you to write a big 3 like this. Write a big 3, then a 2, and a 1. So we've got 3, 2, 1. First at the top, I'd like for you to write 3 things that you have learned during this class period. Just 3 things throughout the entire class period that you have learned. Okay? And then on our second one, we're going to write 2 things that we are confused about. So first one again, for the 3 things I've learned, 2 things I'm confused about, and last thing, 1 thing, what I liked. It can be anything. It can be like, an activity, doing the homework independently. It can be anything. Just you have to list 1 thing that you like. Again, put your name on the top. For the very first thing, write 3 things that you've learned from the class period today. Second thing, you're going to write 2 things that you are still confused about. And then the last one, you're going to write 1 thing that you really liked about this lesson. Okay? Go ahead and take the rest of the class period. The bell is going to ring in about 3 minutes. So go ahead and finish that up. And then as you leave, I will take that paper from you, okay?